Many of you know that at 41, I quit my full-time position in medicine to spend more time with my young kids because I had six figures in cash flow from my real estate portfolio. But my situation was very, very different till about a year ago. I was a burnt out radiologist who'd gone through a rough career transition, and I was nowhere close to financial freedom. I get asked a lot how I did it. And looking back, there were three critical steps that I took that helped me hit financial freedom in the span of a year. And it allowed me to later scale my portfolio to what is currently at 300 million in assets under management. And I've seen so many successful entrepreneurs and investors use these same strategies. The principles are always the same. And I've personally helped hundreds of physicians take these very same steps to build their dream life. And I'm just going to lay it down for you. Today, we're going to look at step one in my journey that got the ball rolling. Goal setting.
Welcome to Generational Wealth MD's podcast on financial freedom through investing in real estate. My name is Param. I'm a mom, radiologist, real estate investor, and mentor to others looking to start or scale their real estate portfolios. The goal of this podcast is to provide you with inspiration, strategies, and insight so that you can stop trading your time for money and live life on your terms. If you love the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.
Have you ever wondered why some people achieve 10 times more than others in a short span of time? And they build things that other people think impossible in a lifetime. Because the uber successful do goal setting very, very differently. And I cannot wait to walk you through today how I teach goal setting differently today, but also my aha moment when I started goal setting differently and how that shifted my trajectory. Again, like I said, I started real estate investing, and some of you know this, in 2014. But till 2019, I only had a few passive rentals. And if I'd continued down the path, it would have taken me another 20 years to hit financial freedom, right? In 2020, I had a rough career transition. We were all in the thick of the pandemic. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It is a book that transformed my life, and if you haven't laid hands on it, you should. I wrote down my 3-year goals to financial freedom. I wrote down my financial independence number, and I reverse engineered a 3-year goal. I had a plan over there, after having done real estate for 7, 8 years and never really having had any momentum. After I wrote my goals down on the back of that book, I hit my goals in 1 year. Not three, I hit them in 1 year. Did you know that only 3% of people in the world set goals and only 1% of the population writes down their goals? Okay, here's what happens when you don't have a goal. You really aren't the captain of your ship. Your life then becomes this aimless boat that is going anywhere the wind blows because you don't have a destination. So if you want to live your best life possible, the first thing you must do is to have clarity and write down your goals. It blocks out the noise. It keeps you hyper focused on what you want to achieve. And that was the first thing that I did. That was what moved the needle for me. That's when the trajectory shifted. And so this is super important for any of you listening. We have students within the Creating Generational Freedom coaching program, Shweta, Vanessa, physicians, all of them physicians who have saved over $500,000 of clinical income from taxes in 1 year because they set clear goals, because they knew going in that that is what they wanted to do, right? You don't need to know the how. You actually just need to be open to possibilities. What you need to do is write down those clear goals. And when people talk about visualizing and manifesting, it seems all woo-woo, but this is what you're doing. You're making your dreams a reality, because everything that is today was once a dream. It was a vision in your mind's eye. And you need to write it down clearly for it to even materialize, right? That's the first thing. Now, people say set achievable goals, set realistic goals. And what I have learned along the way, based on where I am right now, is that you have to create goals. You have to come up with goals that scare you, that people will laugh at when they listen to it. And those are the only worthy goals there are. The first thing that you need to do is to have clarity and to write down your goals. Okay. For those of you who are thinking, how do I even come up with this plan? I need to know how this is done. And this is scary. We have our 10X Your Financial Freedom event coming up in the fall, September 12th to 19th. So go on to generationalwealthmd.com/event in lowercase, sign up for this event. This is where we talk about the how. This is where you hear stories of people who've done this. And again, over and over again, what you will hear overwhelmingly is that people start off with a clear goal, right? And so if you're going to think about the how, it can overwhelm you, it can stop you, and you just get consumed by, you get caught up in this vicious circle where you're thinking about how you're going to do it. And remember that when I wrote those goals down, it was in the middle of the pandemic. It wasn't the time that I had the most money or the most time to build a portfolio. That was actually in 2012, 2010, when I didn't have kids and I had a lot of spare time. It was also the best time to be investing in real estate. That's not when I scaled my portfolio, right? When I did it, it was honestly, there was a lot of fear about the real estate market, but I did it because I was able to hone in on my goals, right? And the other thing was that it was also a time when I had transitioned jobs. I had realized that medicine wasn't as secure as I thought it was. And I never wanted to be in that position where I did not have control, where it was a time I realized I did not have any autonomy, right? I had no control and I didn't have any security. My income from medicine wasn't as secure as I thought it was going to be, right? And at that time, we didn't have childcare. The schools weren't open. I was working full time and I was taking care of these two little kids. And I realized that I really needed more time with my kids. I had a very, very strong why, right? And that brings me to the second part of how multimillionaires set goals, right? So the second thing is having a very, very strong why and starting with your why, not with the how, not with the what am I supposed to do, but you start off with a very strong why. Okay. And so remember, when I started with the why, when I wrote down my goals, and I had this goal for getting it done in 3 years, the way I was going to do it at that point, my 3-year goal was based on the same passive real estate investing strategy, buying rentals, using a property manager that I'd done for years before that. But I ended up accelerating things and getting it done in a year because I figured out a new how, right? I figured out a completely different strategy. We'll talk about this in the second part of this podcast series which is step 2, right? How we actually do this. But the point is that everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable as long as you have a strong why and you have very, very clear goals, right? Now, as far as the why is concerned, a few other things I want to mention. Your why needs to be bigger than yourself, right? It should ideally, a good why is something that is bigger than you. It helps others. I think all of us as human beings have this innate need to grow and to support others, right? That's a good why.
If you're a physician looking to grow meaningful passive income, did you know that you can do that by investing in real estate without having to find properties, analyze complicated numbers, oversee construction, or deal with tenants? In 2020, after working 10 years as a radiologist, I realized that if I followed the traditional method of investing in the stock market, it would take me until my 60s to be able to retire. So I deep dove into real estate investing, and by the age of 41, I had 6 figures in passive income from my real estate portfolio that allowed me to cut down to a day a week in medicine to spend more time with my young family. I've since gone on to help over 15,000 other physicians learn about earning meaningful passive income through real estate investing. And here's the best part, even when you invest in real estate syndications passively, without getting involved in the day-to-day work, you still get to benefit from 2 to 3 times higher returns, including tax-free cash flow day 1. So if you're done with working harder, taking more call, and living frugally, and are ready to put your money to work for you, book a call with our team at gwcapital.com. We are constantly underwriting and doing due diligence on multiple deals in strong markets, doing all the heavy lifting for you. And we present some of these deals only to members we have connected with previously. So if you are ready to seize the opportunities present in this market and get off the sidelines, book a call with our team at gwcapital.com so we can learn more about your goals, walk you through the process, and get you priority insider access to our better deals.
My new why, the new why for Generational Wealth MD and GW gives, because remember, my why that I got started with was to spend more time with my kids, but after I hit financial freedom, I needed a new why, right? New why is going to transition over time. Now, our new why is helping children with disabilities in rural India. That is what GW gives is all about. And as we're scaling, we're at 300 million in assets under management. Hopefully soon we'll be at $1 billion in assets under management. I said it. And our new why is to really support our charitable mission, right? Service over self. So those are 2 key parts of goal setting differently, right? Now, the final part of goal setting and really sticking with the plan is prioritization and accountability, right? The next part is going to be about creating a plan that is time bound, right? So having a specific, I said 3 years. In 3 years, this was my plan. Again, you need to be really open to different possibilities, because as you open yourself up to possibilities, you'll realize that the strategy you may have now may not be the one that you want to adopt. You may stumble upon, if you're open to the opportunities, many different ways of doing things, right? And so the important thing is to prioritize hitting your goals and to have accountability, and to have a plan. And we'll talk about the plan, in episode 2. But the first part of that is going to be knowing where you are today and knowing where you want to go, right? So you can set goals and take action. Now, for a lot of us, and I say this from experience, right? When I went through the rough career transition and I started deep diving into my financial independence numbers, I realized that where I thought I was, I thought I was actually doing pretty good. But I was at less than 25% of my goal. The most important thing is to know where you are currently and know clearly where you want to go. And for those of you who are listening to this and saying, hey, Param, how do I figure out where I am on my financial independence journey? Join the event. Join our free 10x your financial freedom event. We do exactly this. This is just an overview of my, the 3-step framework. We deep dive into the 3-step framework. I help you build out your personalized action plan. I walk you through figuring out where you are now, where you want to go, what strategy makes sense for you. So join us. It's generationalwealthmd.com/event in lowercase. So definitely join the event. But knowing where you are today and knowing where you want to go is key. And then creating a plan that is time bound. That is the next, part of that. And listen to me on episode 2. I talk about how I actually 10x my passive income in 1 year. But the final part of actually hitting your goals is staying accountable, right? Having accountability towards your goals. And over there, I think the key point to remember is that not everyone is going to understand where you want to go and why you want to do this. And so it's really important to have the right people around you who can support you, who can who are on the same path, because otherwise what you're doing is you're absorbing other people's limiting beliefs. And I've done this in the past where I thought it was the right time to invest. And there was all this fear about the second wave during the pandemic in 2010 to 2014 when I wanted to start investing in real estate. I had really close inner circle friends and family who told me that, it's not a good idea to invest in real estate. And hindsight's always 2020. That was the perfect time to be investing. So what happens is that we start absorbing other people's limiting beliefs. So really having a team, a group of people who are your accountability partners who can support you in this journey. That is super important. And that's another big part of the 10X event. This is where there are thousands of physicians who join this event. We do it twice a year. And like you, they're on the same path. Some of them are starting their journey. Some of them are trying to 10X their portfolio, right? So wherever they are, these are the people you want in your circle to hold you accountable, right? So there you have it. That's how you goal set for success. And if you look at all the other strategies people talk about goal setting, a big part of goal setting is always going to be these 3 things, right? Having clarity about your goals and actually writing them down, right? Starting with a very, very strong why. Forget about the how. You will figure that out, but having a very strong why that is going to keep you going when the going gets tough. And then really prioritizing these goals and having the right group of people surrounding you to hold you accountable. That's how you goal set for success. Okay, in the next part of the series, we're going to be talking about how I 10x my passive income in 1 year. And then the final part is like a bonus where I actually talk about how I got from that point where I hit financial freedom at 41 to where we are today, which is 300 million in assets under management. And why, right? How and why we did that. So stay tuned. And I cannot wait to connect with all of you in the other 2 parts of this podcast series.